Hola, buenos dias. Today we're going to talk about ser and estar again. To be or not to be, there is no question. If you haven't noticed by now that the verbs ser and estar keep coming back to us, and they will because they're pretty complicated in Spanish and they tend to get a lot of attention and confusion, especially for new speakers of the language. And so this, I promise, will be the last lesson that I give you this quarter on ser and estar. So the learning objectives are that you can define and conjugate the verbs ser and estar. Please, by now I hope you can do that. State the rules for use of ser and estar, and this lesson is just going to add a few more rules to the ones you hopefully have already learned, and apply the rules for each verb in context. Ser. Here's a little review on how to conjugate it. Soy, eres, es, somos, soy, son. And the rules that I've given you for ser in the past were don't poop during the news, which were description, profession, date, time, and nationality. And those are the ones on the left of your screen in black. And the new rules that I'm going to add are on the right of your screen in blue. Use ser when you're talking about identity, possession, intentions, impersonal statements, mathematical equations, and location of events. And if you're doing this right now, that's fine, because I know I've already taught you that you use estar for location. And you do. When you're talking about where an event is going to take place, use ser. So if you can take out the is and replace it with will happen at, then use ser. For example, la fiesta es en el parque. The party is in the park. Or if we could replace the is with will happen at, la fiesta will happen at el parque. That's how you know you use ser. So I've always taught don't poop during the news as the way to remember the rules for ser. And then I'm going to add these new rules. So I came up with don't poop during the news, impossible, invigorating instances, meet lovers. You are more than welcome to come up with your own sentence if that will help you, something that will help you remember all these rules for ser, or you can use mine, or you don't have to remember a sentence, just know when to use ser. The rules, I think, also make a little bit more sense when you see them in context. Here's our friend estar. Estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, están. And I'm only going to add one rule for estar this time. So felt, feelings, emotions, location, and the present progressive. And then weather, which we've already learned. You remember the expressions with weather that use estar, like está despejado, está nublado. So the good news is in this lesson, there's not a whole lot more to remember with estar. Ser has some more rules that we need to remember. So use ser or estar. You decide. Yo blank contenta. Yo estoy contenta, because it's a condition. Ella blank en la casa. Ella está en la casa. It's location. Remember, we can't take out is in this sentence and replace it with will happen at, because we would have she will happen at the house, and that wouldn't make sense. This is a location. We're going to use estar. Nosotros blank americanos. Nosotros somos americanos, and the rule for that is nationality. Usted blank hablando español. Usted está hablando español, because that's the present progressive. La fiesta blank en el parque. La fiesta es en el parque, because will happen at. And el carro blank de mi amigo Juan. El carro es de mi amigo Juan, and that's an example of possession. Time to check yourself. Can you define and conjugate the verb ser and estar, please? Can you state the rules for ser and estar? And can you apply the rules for each of the verbs in context? If so, muy bien. Adiós.